Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the Ivy incarcerator herself, Sandy Reevy.
I know what that's about.
It is episode 204, June 20th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have today, June 20th, Mercury sextile Jupiter.
Speak loudly.
Including Sandy's astrologically interesting day, Tuesday, June 21st, Venus trine Pluto.
Working order, ?
And Sun ingress Cancer.
Summer solstice.
Wednesday, June 22nd, Venus ingress Gemini.
She on the move.
And don't forget, we have 6-planet rising on Friday, June 24th. Then the Talisman time, Sandy has one special upcoming you won't want to miss. And on the horizon, a special USA's Pluto Return Part 2 webinar that is up and available for you all. Then in our house, Sandy is visiting family in Ohio. So here are all of her to-dos and to-das. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you.
Hello, Ivy incarcerator.
Really, my shoulders, everybody who helped the crew, the Lange crew of removing ivy that probably has been climbing on this rock garden for, we don't even know, 40 years.
Wow.
We got it all cleared out. Man, we had all kinds of equipment and machines and hand things. My sister said well, I'll tell you the story in our.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in our house. So stay tuned to the end of the episode to hear more about Sandy's ivy incarceration. So let's get started with going direct. I have a short but very sweet message from one of your clients who said, "Hi, Sandy, the stars were right again." And
yeah, this is a text message I got from a quarterly subscriber that, last time we chatted, there was like, well, will I be doing this? And looking at the chart, and I was like, I don't think this is going to come to pass. And so she texted me and said, yep, the stars were right again. And I always like that. And I do anyone that I'm, talking to monthly or quarterly to get that follow-up. That was maybe the subject of our conversation, the subject of our reading the stars and what could possibly be the outcome of a question that they had for, that session.
Mm-hmm.
So actually I got 3 responses from a monthly and 2 quarterlies about, what we had talked about and what I thought might occur that, I got responses. I'm like, yeah, go ahead and text me. I want to know, because actually it's a good teaching tool too, right? Mm-hmm. All we can just, we don't know. We're just reading we're reading the energy. Mm-hmm. Astrologers can't, we're not soothsayers, but we can read the energy and say, it's likely or it's unlikely. And so it's a good learning tool for your astrologer to know what was the outcome of the question. So.
Yes. So let's move into the transits. We have today, Monday, June 20th. We start the week off with Mercury sextile Jupiter.
Yeah, happens right 2:44 in the morning. So this is while you're sleeping. And this is speak loudly. So moving your big ideas forward quickly. Mercury's in his home sign of Gemini. He is out now of his shadow. So he's moving on new territory that he has not been on this year. So speak loud and carry a big shtick. Go ahead and take that test. Today is your day to pass it. It's really interesting too, because it's also the first official Juneteenth holiday, right? It's a federal holiday now.
Yeah.
And this is been in the bill, in the Congress, when was it going to be passed and signed? And it was the final year of the day of the final slavery. They were freed in 1865.
Right.
So really big day, really big day. And I really like that Mercury sextiling Jupiter to announce, kind of like speak loudly,
Yeah.
or forever hold your peace. In other words, let's get these ideas moving forward.
Right.
Right.
And a beautiful day to commemorate.
Yeah, it really is. It's perfect.
So the next day is your astrologically interesting day, and you'll explain why. But starting off Tuesday, June 21st with Venus trine Pluto.
Yeah, this is at 3:00 in the morning. Again, these are a lot of these things this week are, in the middle of the night. And this is what I call, are things in working order? ? Have situations calmed down in your relationships? I hope so. That you can make the correct adjustment that was happening 6 months ago when this Venus was conjunct Pluto 3 times during her retrograde period. So this was in this January period where she was retrograde and bouncing on top of Pluto. So while she was retrograding, and that really was kind of going down to the raw material of something, getting kind of, we could say, naked or raw. And then whatever adjustments you needed, then you're now in the trine position of the Venus. And Venus is in her own sign of Taurus. So Venus really has that, loyalty, that placement of enjoyment, of making connections, of what you trust, who you connect to. So, who are you loyal to? That might be a good question for some of you out there is, who are you loyal to? What are you loyal to? What is it your interconnectings are about, and why, why you're connecting to these? Venus is about relationships. If Susan were here, she'd be talking about our what do our values equal to what is worth paying for, or worth receiving. So give yourself a nod and a smile if you did that work back then to transform what and who you love.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're kind of looking at it now going, okay, the last 6 months certainly could have been this readjustment period. By this 21st is like, did you have to let go of something or of someone? Were you able to connect, are things in working order? That's why I called it ?
Right.
Because whether you let someone go or let a part of what you were connected to on a deep level go, is it working better now? Right. That's why it's my astro interesting day, because it's looking back in a harmonious aspect going, whoo, that was rough. And now I should really enjoy the position I'm in, because Venus is in her own domicile, in her own place, looking backwards in a trine to Pluto, like, oh, that was way back there. I'm moving forward.
And so the same day is also the Sun ingress Cancer, also known as the summer solstice.
This actually is important to know that it happens at 4:14 a.m. Chicago Central Time. That's important. And it's the longest day of the year. These are the longest daylight hours. So, I when I was writing this, I'm thinking, okay, do this Greek style, or I should say really any European style, eat dinner late to enjoy the most of the light, right? So, eat outside, go to a taverna, which is a cafe.
And you just had an awesome, schooling, huge education on the European ways.
It works. I was like, oh, I need to eat at 6 or 6:30, and intermittent fasting, and what work, going to dinner at 8 and probably not even eating till 8:30. What? Not even being done, because they have elongated, there's several meal services, and not even being done by 9:30. What? It worked. You're able to really focus, and this, again, summer solstice period is focus on the family, focus on the home, and focus on the body. What is carrying around your innards? What is your vehicle that you're using? Eat from your yard. Make tomato pie. We're making I'm in Cincinnati now visiting, and we're going to have tomato pie twice. We've already had it once this week. We're having it again another time, because it is so. Eat from your garden. And that's a really good way to sustain life.
Right. And Wednesday, June 22nd, Venus ingress Gemini.
Yeah, she's on the move. Now, this is at 7:30 p.m. And, this is more of a enjoyment, bouncing around, kind of butterflies, hoping she has had her rest and rejuvenation while she was in her earth sign, Taurus, for the last 3 weeks. So now she moves into Gemini, and she's about to get busy. Busy bees, lots of connections going from here to there, to here to there, to here to there. So go out and about, set up date days that last into the night. Again, because we're in this summer solstice period when, it's the longest days of the year. If you're noticing, you're like, oh, it's still light out. It's probably, you're like, oh my God, I should be in bed. It's, I should be thinking about slowing down my day. This is just easy to see that she is on her way back toward the sun, as she is 30 degrees away from the 40 degree of the 40 something that she can get to. She can get to about 44, 45 degrees away from the sun. But now, the sun just moved from Gemini into Cancer, and she is, the next day right behind moving. So she's 30 days. Which means, 30 degrees away from meeting up with the sun, where she'll go into her, in her superior Kazimi, not until October, but she's moving fast. So, be curious, be social, find enjoyment in your immediate environment, your neighborhood. Set up Zoom calls with people that are far, far, far away. I'm doing that. I've met so many new people that are living around the world, and we're connecting on Zoom at odd times for each of us, but it works for each of us. So, you need to do a lot of things, butterflies, and, I'm watching hummingbirds in my mom's garden, and just the bees, they need the variety. They go flower to flower to flower to flower, different varieties. So, kind of get busy. Easy. Yeah.
And so Friday, June 24th, it's not necessarily a transit. However, there's a sky event happening.
It's a big deal. Yeah. All of the personal planets, in the 2 superior planets, are moving ahead of the sun. Now, the moon falls into alignment here as well. So and I've got this timed, I'm looking at a chart right now, June 24th, really early in the morning. So I say, wake up early today and go out on the rooftop, go out to where in the yard, go, if you have to, drive somewhere because you've got trees in your way, like my mom does here. But by this time I'll be on my rooftop deck. Watch, and I've got like 4 o'clock in the morning, before the sun comes up, you'll be able to see Saturn straight up in the sky. We'll see Jupiter in alignment. It's Saturn we see.
Right.
Then we got Neptune we cannot see. Jupiter, yes, we can see. We have Mars, which we, yes, can see. Then we see the moon, which, will be in the balsamic crescent phase by then. So won't be so bright light. So we should be able to see some of these planets that we normally can't see.
That will look incredible. That will be plus Venus and Mercury.
That we'll see. But we also have Uranus there and the North Node there, which we can't see. Of course, North Node is not even a planet. It's a sensitive point. But then we go to Venus and Mercury. So really a parade before the sun comes up.
A serious parade.
Yeah. So this is unusual. So check it out.
Yes, it's going to be a great week. So let's move into talisman times. You don't have any finished since you've been on the road, but you have one upcoming, and that's June 21st, which is this coming Tuesday, tomorrow, if you're listening on time, to engage in abundant sales and trade.
Yeah, this is Mercury. Mercury is now is the ruler of the chart, sitting at the midheaven. And Venus and the moon are making a really, really nice aspect to in a sextile to Mercury. So this is to engage in abundant sales and trade. My consumers find advantages and resources purchasing my products and services. We both are fortunate. Mercury's at the top of the chart, ruler of the midheaven, ruler of the ascendant. Mercury's in his own sign of Gemini, wanting to make negotiations, conversations. Well, I've got this product, I've got this service, I've got this product and this product. If you're looking for that or that, different price points, different heavy, light, thorough, indirect. So I'm back in, and actually there's quite a few this month, the rest of this week, but I haven't written them, and I don't know if they're going to work in my schedule because some of these are during reading times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So to be decided if we'll talk about them next week. If I've done them, they'll be on the website. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds great. And the talisman of the month is to nurture children. That is for a special price on the website, plus a shipping credit. Click that link in the description if you wanted to check it out, or head over to our website, intentionbeads.com. Then on the horizon, if you haven't already, you really should catch up on our June astrology forecast and the June cheat sheet. Those are ready and waiting for you on the site, as well as our upcoming June astrology forecast, our July astrology forecast. That is happening July 2nd, and link is in the description. Of course, if you're on the email list, you should be receiving those invites to join us live on Facebook. Then July 13th, Sandy and Susan will be teaming up to give us the USA's Pluto Return Part 2. This is a 3-part series that Sandy and Susan are really dissecting. What is this big Pluto return that's happening for the USA's chart?
Yeah, and here we go with what is saying, a recession, interest rates went up again. So, we're going through major transformational changes here.
Yes. Also, don't forget that we do have our early bird specials only lasting a few more, maybe podcasts, for our 2023 Mexico retreat, our 2023 Bali retreat, and our 2023 Amargos Greece retreat. If you've always been thinking about going on a retreat, this is a really wonderful time. We've all been cooped up at home and really in the need for really branching out and exploring what the world has to offer.
Yeah. And you'll have a different view, like what you just said. It's like, you've got a chance to really understand the things that are going on in your house or your family or within self, or your neighborhood, because maybe you've been sitting out on the driveways, 6 feet away with your cocktails on Friday nights. But what's going out? How has this affected the other parts of the world? And to see the happiness, and I've been there. We just did finish our Mexico retreat in January, and I just got back from Amargos Island, Greece. Except for tourists, they do things, the same way every single day. The sun still shines, the moon still comes up, and it's just really nice to know that everybody has a rhythm. And you can get into rhythm on another part of the world and another continent.
Right.
It's just reassuring that we're all one. We've all gone through this, but we still do us. We still do me.
Right. And so let's move into our house, where we're going to be talking about Sandy's visit to Ohio to visit your mom, my grandmother, and the rest of the family. So let's hear all the to-dos and all the to-dos.
Well, it was, I do try to get to Cincinnati in the summer, certainly once or twice to visit. I mean, it's only a 5-hour drive away. But with this COVID, I really haven't come down. I've missed out on 2 Christmases. That's unheard of in my life.
That is unheard.
And I had a talk with my mom, which I talk to her often. My sister comes in. She's a school teacher, now retired, but she comes in for a month. So she was going to come in for the month and is here the month of June. And she helps in the yard. My mom's a master gardener, Mimi is. And she has decided that she's going to have this garden tour dinner.
That's cool.
And she picked it because, gardeners know if you're going to tour your garden, you do it middle of June. That's when all perennials are up and blooming and all the annuals are at their tip top form.
Oh,
so yeah. Yeah. And so right around the summer solstice, which, she doesn't really pay attention to that, but, she's saying really right before summer. So she scheduled this and she's inviting 16 of her friends to come over who some have seen her garden, her yard. And my mom was saying, well, Laura, you'll be here and then she'll be serving this. And we've got this planned and we got this and we're doing this. And I guess we're going to have some wine, even though my mom doesn't drink, her friends do, which I understand that. I'm the drinker of the family. No one else, sister, 2 brothers, no. It was me and dad and he's gone. So I've got to finish his liquor cabinet. But mom said, well, there's just so much going to be going, my mom's 90, and she's
got 16 friends that she can call over. I mean, I don't even know if I would have that many.
They're younger than her. She's the oldest. At that 90th birthday party we had for a couple months ago, they're like, Dell, we had no idea. So she wants everything just perfect, just like she does. And she says, I think I might have to hire somebody to help with the plates and people walking downstairs. And she had a railing put up outside in her walk down garden area.
Right.
And I hang up the phone and I'm like, are you serious? My mom's going to hire somebody when she's got a daughter sitting up here 5 hours away. So I call her back. I said, Mom, I can rearrange my calendar and be your daughter at hand. Your 2 daughters are supporting you. Whether one is Venus and one is Jupiter, and we're both working, moving side by side with her. So I came in a week early, and man, it has been and she's a prize garden. I mean, she's won awards. She's on the tour of Cincinnati Horticultural Group.
Right.
We're out every day buying more flowers, buying more foliage, buying more stuff, putting it in, not even planting some of it, just potting things around, whether it's her fire pit garden, whether it's her gazebo, whether it's the bridge that goes over the little old, now no longer defunct
Dream
pond.
Right. Yeah.
It's the lower patio, it's the upper patio, it's the courtyard area, it's the front room. It's, oh my gosh, it's like, and then the big storm came in a couple of days ago. Everybody had it here in the Midwest, and branches were falling and plants were falling over and hanging baskets were going crazy. So just litter all over so we had to do all of that, with our buckets and going around picking up all the leaves and the stems. And I mean, it's been fun and just figuring out plates and napkins and where should people sit. And she's got 7 places where people can sit. We're going to have set up. So it's this really, really big fun thing. And by the time everybody hears this, it will have been over. And we're in this really big heat wave, right? All of the Midwest is going through this heat wave.
Right.
It's like 90. Well, it was
90 to 100. It was 100 here in Chicago.
Here in Cincinnati, it was like 113 heat index, because that's what she kind of, for breathing purposes and stagnant heat. And she's so now worried. Oh my gosh. Well, there's a 1 day in between the 2 big heat fronts, and it's Saturday, the day of her party. and it's supposed to be 78 degrees
Oh, that's so perfect.
on
Oh,
the
I hope
day
it
of the
works out.
party.
Oh, I
So
hope it works out.
yeah, so of course I brought, because these people do like to drink, she's just serving wine that I'm in charge of. I brought all of those Greek Amarjon, uh, digestive, Rocky,
Right.
the blue one that was, used different kind of herbs. And so I've got these little shot glasses that I'm going to be
Taste
Sam.
testing.
We're going
Oh,
to
that'd
taste
be cool.
test with all of her friends, and even mom said, who's not really an advocate of drinking at all,
Yeah,
is like,
we're
oh,
gonna
they would love it. They will love this. That's so great. Yeah, bring all that. And I'm like, oh, okay.
yeah.
So
And so also I want to hear it too. I don't want to interrupt your conversation or your story, but I do want to hear about the ivy too. So make sure to fit that in here.
well, yeah, no, this is last night. We went over to see my nephew Grant just bought a house, 8 acres, and it's 5 minutes from here. Like it's like, so we go from city, right? I don't live in the city. I didn't grow up in the city, to the
Right.
suburbs. And in 5 minutes you drive, which is still the suburbs, but you go into this rural, never been down this road before. My mom has never been down this road before. And there are 5 houses here. So it kind of looks like, Deliverance, when you would never go back this road. No, it's like, yeah, let's not go back that road. It says no outlet, it's private property. It's like, all right. I believe you, I'm staying away. But you go back this, and in back there is their 8 acres. The house needs a lot of work, but they're all, this is my family of, masons. They know all the
They know it
plumbers and
well.
electricians, and they work with that. And there was this one bed that was all ivy, and it was probably 20, 40 years of growth. You couldn't even see what was underneath it. So
Wow.
we decided to pop over there on one of these 98-degree days at 4:00 and start with our tools, just pulling this ivy. What we found underneath is this beautiful rock garden. I mean, there's no
Ooh.
plants other than the ivy that is now
Right.
gone. But they were so shocked to see what we had done. Like, oh my gosh, thank you, thank you, thank you. There's a lot more to do, but we just did one section of this long, my God, it's probably a 50-foot wall. And we probably did 15 feet of it already.
Wow. That's
I'll be gone for their next day that they planned. But it was certainly, it's kind of like power washing. You got this.
It's so satisfying, I'm sure.
So
Just
satisfying. What we did in about 2-3 hours. So that was cool. That's cool to be part of that. It is the Langenbrunner work crew. We've
right.
always called ourselves the work crew.
Right. Well, I love that. And I can't even believe that Mimi was out there pulling on the ivy alongside of you in the 90 degrees with her 90 years of experience. Wow.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
impressive.
It was fun. It was fun. And we had big fan, they got the big industrial fans going. The sun was setting behind the trees, and we had swung by and got La Rose's pizza. And we actually had
Faithful.
popsicles.
Oh, that's one of the best childhood memories of summer.
So she was asking what color, and she was, going into the freezer. She's like, so what color does everybody want? And, somebody saying, I'll take a cherry, or I'll take red. Somebody said, I'll take orange. And she looks at me and I'm like, I'll take a coconut. And everybody's like, I'll take a blue one. I'll take a purple one. And I'm like, I want a coconut one. And everybody laughs at me because, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I'm the free bird or the dum-dum bird,
Odd one.
dodo bird, of the family. They're like, coconut, like, can you just pick a color? I'm like, well, okay, a white one. And they're like, yeah, I doubt that they have the white ones here. I'm sure they don't have it in the freezer. She comes out with this whitish looking one, and I bite into it, and it's pineapple.
Ooh.
I said, I finny, because we finny down here. There's an area nearby called Finneytown. And so finny things, I'm like, I finny every time I'm here. I get the white one. But they were making fun of me that I asked for coconut, like a flavor instead of a color.
Yeah.
Anyway, I ended up getting pineapple, which I loved.
That sounds delicious. Well, I guess that is a wrap on our episode today. I'm so happy that you're enjoying your time there in Cincinnati, spending time with family, Ivy incarcerating like you do, the 15%, the 15 feet that you did. And everybody, thank you so much for listening to these episodes. We really highly appreciate it. If you want to, please do send some reviews, some feedback. We like them on, Apple Podcasts. You can also email me, alex@intentionbeads.com. I think that is a wrap for this episode. And thank you everybody for listening in. Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you.